There's going to be a hard cut there because I just completely lost my train of thought.
Tequila! I don't want to be Beppa.
GMat.
Is there anything for dessert or something? Oh, Mario! Oh my God!
Woo.
Hometown Spider-Man.
Yay. I need help with doing a push-up.
This is still going?
Yep.
Fuck!
Hello and welcome to episode 182 of the GMat Podcast. Today's episode of the GMat Podcast is brought to you by our merch, which is available at teespring.com/stores/the real GMat. Go get some merch. Get a mug. I got a mug over there. I should have had it with me. That intro was brought to you by me. I haven't actually seen if there are intros this week. I just had to quickly get one together. But if you'd like to submit an intro to the GMat Podcast to be played, send it to contact@therealgmat.tv or submit it in the Discord. Send it to me on Facebook. And if you want to support us, head over to teespring.com/the not Teespring. What the fuck? Send out cut the music. Patreon.com/the GMat Podcast. You might be able to tell I'm a little bit frazzled. I'm a little bit all over the place today. Let's start with the obvious. There's going to be a few cuts because I'm by myself and I got to get my thoughts together as I go. So if there are cuts, like the one you probably just saw, please kindly ignore those. The obvious. Ben's not here. Aiden's not here. Beck's not here. And I'm alone. I'm alone. The reason why is... Well, there's a couple reasons why. First, we said this on the last podcast, the one where the teddy bear was in Aiden's seat. We don't have a backup podcast in the can anymore. We don't have a backup one in case we need to take a week off, which was always sort of like the idea was we would have one. I'm going to put that right there. We sort of would have one in the can in case something went wrong, something like this. But unfortunately, we took a week off at around New Year's, because we just wanted a week off. We wanted just a week to just go and be with our families and do stuff that wasn't the podcast. And then we were like, oh, when we come back, we'll smash out 2 in a row. We'll get one in the can, and then we'll be one ahead. Maybe we can do that again, get 2 in the can, like something like that. But it's just worked out that the week after we've lost one in the can, I was a close contact with someone who had COVID. And sort of the rules are you have to get a rapid test. And if you can't get a rapid test, you have to get a PCR test. Well, I mean, you're supposed to get a rapid test, but there's no rapid tests in Australia. Can't buy them, can't get them anywhere. They could pop up here and there. You can get on like Find a Rat and that sort of stuff, but like they're very difficult to get a hold of. So I went and got a PCR test on a Sunday, and I was like, guys, we won't be able to do the podcast early this week, but maybe like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's Thursday night now. Still haven't heard anything. And when you get a PCR test, I don't know what the rules are in the rest of the world, but when you're in the waiting period for a test, you're in isolation. You're not allowed to go out. You're not allowed to go and spread amongst the community. You're definitely not allowed to have people over at your house. So we just there was option B. Option A was do one on Discord, which we all hate. We hate doing on Discord. And option B was for me to do one by myself and throw in some highlights from 2021. That's right. It's a clip show. It's not a real clip show. We've done like this before and people seem to enjoy them. Where I'm just going to tell some stories, just chat with you guys. And then I'm going to throw in some of the best moments from 2021 of the video podcast, which admittedly is only about 10 podcasts. But there are a lot of great moments in these video podcasts. And I think it's a great way to go into 2022 which is, taking all these good moments, throwing them together and starting a clean slate for 2022 off the back of this. Hopefully. I don't think I've got COVID, but I've got to follow the rules. So assuming I don't have COVID, we should all be back in the room together next week and making good content. Speaking of making good content, I don't want to throw us into a bad mood at the start of the podcast. But there's something I wanted to address. I guess kind of publicly. I sometimes want to do it on the stream, but I haven't actually spoken to Aiden about how he feels about this. So I gave him a call before and had a chat, and he was like, "Oh yeah, go for it." So it's fine. So I wanted to address one thing. This may not be relevant to everybody on the podcast. If you're just specifically a podcast fan, it may not be relevant to you. but it will be relevant in a little bit because there's some stuff that comes off the back of this. People are always asking me in the stream, twitch.tv/GMat, come join the stream. People are always asking me, when's Aiden going to come back on the stream? When I say always asking me, it's not every fucking minute. All right, he's not that loved, but it's it's once a week or so. People are like, when's the next stream with Aiden? You should play this with Aiden. Everyone loves Aiden on the stream, and I love having Aiden on the stream. But there was a point. Here's how mine and Aiden's content journey sort of started together. I was making content, and I brought Aiden in. This is like back when I lived in the little house when me and Beck weren't together. I was alone in that little house. And I just left my, at the time, girlfriend. And I'd gone into this new journey of like just being on my own and doing stuff. And I really started to get into content. That's when I partnered with Gameology. Things were going really well. And I was making stuff. And obviously, Aiden and I have talked about this before. We were both in sort of like a crap period. And then we both sort of started blossoming at the same time. And realizing things about ourselves and just generally enjoying life a bit more. And with everything that was going well, I brought Aiden in on some videos. Aiden really liked making videos with me. We loved playing games together and having a laugh. And I said to him, listen, there's nothing, like we can't match each other because I do this full time. And Gameology, pays me and blah, blah, blah. But how would you feel about me bringing you in to this new partnership with Gameology of Send Noobs, making videos with me? You get paid a certain amount just to appear. And then, if this snowballs, in a couple of years, maybe we could both be making content full time together. Something like that. And that obviously didn't work out 100%. Obviously it's growing. But the difference between growing where I can support myself and I can pay my bills, and then growing where I can pay my bills and another person can pay their bills isn't the most achievable goal within 2 years. It was a little bit optimistic. So there was a point, we got to a point where Aiden was still making videos with me, Send Noobs, and he was contracted to make videos. And when you're contracted to make videos, it's sort of fine for me because it's part of a bigger wage. But Aiden was a part of a contract that was making him have to commit to 2 videos a week. And he did get paid for those 2 videos, but it wasn't enough to make a living wage off. And obviously he's trying to, build a career in other things and do other stuff. And then he's contracted to make these videos with me 2 times a week. It's a big commitment for something that isn't a part of the wider, I guess, your wider career. Like, it was all part of my stuff, made sense for me. But for Aiden, it's like if someone contracted me, if I had to go 2 hours a week, I had to go and, paint a house. And I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? Those 2 hours I could be spent doing other stuff. So anyways, we hit a point where Aiden was doing those videos. He was streaming with me. And admittedly, the stream was something that he wanted to do when we went into lockdown. He's like, hey, I'd like to come on board a bit more. And I was like, yeah, 100%. What if we commit to every Wednesday night? And then before we knew it, Aiden was committed to 2 videos a week. He was committed to Wednesday nights on the stream. Other stuff when it popped up. G-Stream. I knew I could always call for him for like stream events. Be like, hey, come play with me for 12 hours. And he'd be like, yep. Come play with me for 24 hours. He'd be like, yep. Like I said, I'm not dragging him by a fucking leash and making him do anything. There was always some sort of compensation, whatever I could do, and the podcast as well. But it got to the point where we realized, or I should say Aiden realized, that we were only really seeing each other and spending time with each other for content stuff when we were either, or we'd see each other so much during content that we wouldn't want to just hang out because, we'd spent for 6 or 7 hours speaking to each other that week, but not, with cameras turned off and that sort of thing. So and it's different with Ben. Ben sort of just does the podcast, and then I see Ben for other things. I play music with Ben, and we see each other outside of content. But with Aiden, it just sort of realized. Well, he realized it was happening. he realized he cared more about our friendship than the content, and realized that the content was taking a toll on our friendship. And he made the decision to back off of some of the stuff. The podcast is something we all hold really near and dear. We love making the podcast, and the podcast is different from a video or from a stream. It's almost like we're having a normal conversation, except there's cameras on. If we're doing a stream, we're on in a different sort of way. If we're making a video, it's all about turning on for an hour, and then it's different. It's different from the podcast. I don't want to say like it's fabricated, because I don't want to shoot down the content that I do make outside of the podcast, but it's different. It's a different kind of energy. So we, I guess as a team, made the decision for Aiden to pull back on other stuff, and let's just focus on the podcast. So that's why you don't see Aiden so much in videos and streams anymore. You might catch Ben. Ben's keen to jump in every now and again. Obviously, we're not keen to repeat mistakes. But if you're ever wondering where Aiden is, he might come into a stream. That's not to say he won't ever come into a stream ever again. But that's why he isn't as present as he used to be on streams and stuff. And why the reason why we did it. That being said, he'll be on the podcast forever. And you'll always catch him here. Also, there are some other projects going on that we're working on. This is taking forever. I will get into clips. So Aiden and I are working on another show. I'm working on a project with each of the guys on the podcast, sort of individually. We're all working on a project together. We're all doing the podcast together. And we're all doing the GMat podcast together. So Aiden and I are working on a new show called First Person with Sienna. It's a live action thing. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. We haven't even really started pre-production yet, but we did manage to raise the funds on GoFundMe. So I appreciate everybody who donated to that. So we're going to get to work on that ASAP as soon as I come out of lockdown. I'll come out of isolation. Ben J and I are working on another podcast, a duo podcast. It's all sort of still, all of these things are in pre-production, and when I come out of isolation, these things are going to kick into gear, and it should be good. And Beck and I are working on another podcast as well. So we're trying to build more of a podcast network. We'll have 3 podcasts. Aiden and I will be doing a show on The Real GMat on YouTube that you can catch. And then obviously 4 streams a week and 2 videos a week, 2 videos on Send Noobs. There's just content you can find all over the place. I love my job. I love my friends, and that's what's going on. So we're finally able to get a video podcast coming into the end of 2021. And the thing that people forget is that it took fucking forever to get the video podcast together. We've been doing the podcast for a long time, and we've been talking about video podcasts almost as long as we've been doing the podcast. We had plans to get the video. I think when we were ready to do the video podcast, 6 months later, we did the video podcast just because of lockdowns, isolation. Like, it was ready to go, and then we got shut down, and we had to wait forever and ever and ever and ever. The setup of the video podcast is exactly the same as the setup for the audio podcast. It's never changed. We always sat in these seats. We always sat in the same configuration. Ben's on the couch over there. Aiden sits in this chair. I sat at my desk. That's just how we did it. It was nice to have a space when I moved in here where we could come in. The mics are always set up. It's the coolest room. We're very lucky to have a space. We're very lucky to have a spot to do the podcast. One of the big things for me was time-wise, editing a video podcast that is filmed from multiple cameras, and then you pick who sees. Editing multi-camera stuff takes a lot of time. And as much as I wanted to do a video podcast, I couldn't assign so much time to it. So we had to come up with an alternative, a way to do the video podcast where the majority of the work was done live, just like in the audio podcast. And that's where having Beck on the podcast came into mind, because that way Beck could run live camera changes, move the thing around, and just be an extra member of the podcast, someone to do research, which we desperately needed. And it's been awesome. It's been a really effective way to have a video podcast get out weekly amongst all the other content that I do in the week. We appreciate Beck, and Beck reads the comments. So thank you to everyone who's been giving Beck love on the YouTube comments. Yeah, we're really happy that the video podcast is up and running. We hope to get back into it next week. Let's look at some clips. Let's start some highlights. Let's take a look at two of my favorite moments from the very first video podcast that we ever did. Take a look at these.
Smooth
When
transition.
you lived here, did you ever encounter this window creep a few doors down?
Window
Oh, fuck, that guy.
The guy.
Whoa, this guy is so crazy.
creep. The dog?
Nah.
Aiden went and got a haircut the other day, and
Thanks for commenting.
So he came here for lunch, and we walked down to the bakery. And on the way back, oh, you know what else he did? We
One story at a time. Come on.
Wait, whoa.
we saw Bruce and a friend of his, and they're both gay.
Homosexuals.
And so Aiden went, look at these two gays across the street.
I said, hey, Matt, I think there are two gays across the street. Loud enough so they could hear me.
And I was like fuzzy, like my eyes had been looking at screens.
Try not to shit yourself.
Yeah, he was
So
looking behind his eyes.
I couldn't see them, and I was like, you said that so fucking loud.
I was like, yeah, I know.
What a boomer mum. That's just taking everything completely literally. You can't say that anymore, Aiden.
It's like, yeah, it's Bruce. And he's like, oh, yeah, there are two gays over there. And we crossed the road and then...
Oh yeah, so we're chatting with him, and then we're just standing at the front of the house, and then we look to our left, and there's a man in a window who's pulled the curtains to his body, so it's just like curtains on either side of him.
in front of the curtain.
Oh, yeah,
there was
yeah.
curtain behind him. I'm not kidding.
And
he was in front of the curtain.
He was just standing at the curtains, like watching us,
Hands on the window pane like that.
just having a fucking gig.
And I was like, Bruce, there's a guy looking at us. And Bruce is like, yeah. And his friend goes, yeah, he's been watching us the whole way. And I was like, what? And then I looked at him and I kind of like went like, hello. No change.
You guys should have all stood in a line and just stared at him.
I was so
Between
frightened.
the two of you and Bruce, that's at least 3 meme lords I think would get on that. Just with your hands on his fence,
We
just
should've.
standing in a straight line trying to stare him down.
It wouldn't have broken-
it wouldn't
It wouldn't have broken him.
I was convinced put it this way, if I didn't see his hands, I would have been worried he was masturbating.
Okay.
He looked like
that's the
a
face that he
window
had.
masturbator.
Like he was like, which is obviously everyone's.
But you could see his
face.
hands. And they were on his junk, but he was barely moving them.
No, they were on the pane, the window pane.
Yeah, he was looking. He was having a good old.
He was just
It was
staring.
weird, and he was there. It was like he was there for a while, and then they left, and then we were sort of like he was just still, and he's only like 10 meters away from us, so he knows we can see him,
Is he an old dude?
Yeah,
and we've all acknowledged that.
like 60, maybe 70, I would say. He was old enough.
I just want to check one thing.
God, here we go.
Have you been recording?
No, just making sure we're recording.
Yeah, it says big red button.
Vodcast next week, everyone.
It's the first video podcast. I had to make sure I did
Thanks
the
for getting
right
up so
thing.
early.
On that
Beck.
same walk,
Yep.
there's a kid coming by with a bike, on a bike, right? He's just whizzing by,
He's going real fast.
right? And we come back from the bakery, and I've got my chicken supreme. What's it called? Chicken schnitzel special, and Matt just got a pie, so it was just some
I don't know why you
schlep.
guys shit so much.
All right. And
It's a good pie.
the kid goes woo right past us, and Matt says to me, he goes, God, fuck, I'm so glad that kid didn't just eat shit next to us. I said, what do you mean?
I think you're being nice. I think you're like he's not getting me in trouble, because what I actually said was, wouldn't it have been hilarious if that kid just ate shit in front of us?
You see how I tried to help?
He tried to help me.
I tried to help so much.
There's no helping him.
No, and we both agreed that it would have been so annoying.
It would have been.
And the reason,
pain in the ass.
is because he goes, it would have been. I said, yeah, because if he eats shit, I then have to put down my sandwich
On the ground
I have
as
to
well?
put my sandwich down. I have to go over, and he's going, and I'm like, what's your mum's fucking number? Give me Jesus, Helen, hello. And he's sitting there, and my sandwich is getting covered in hands, and it's getting cold.
I'm so I'd love to help, but it's chicken.
Like Matt said she would arrive.
Yeah.
And we'd just be both just eating a sandwich and a pie. The kid's still writhing in pain. I'm like,
Or you
yeah,
did,
he's over there.
you'd bandaged up his leg, like, so I guess, like, are we buying another sandwich for ourselves? Or
I I imagine like a POV, like a Pulp Fiction sort of thing.
Yeah.
Of just looking up at us, looking down at him eating. Be like, you good?
It's called a Royale with cheese.
Put pressure on it. Put pressure on it. Let's stop the
I
blood.
don't have any bandages, but here are a couple of leaves I found. Here's some bark.
Yeah.
But he didn't eat shit.
No,
so we're
unfortunately.
really, really pleased.
Smooth
George and I
transition.
found some stray dogs. I just remembered
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Where? What? Tell me everything.
So we were driving around.
Oh, yeah?
We tend to just drive around for something to do. Listen to music, talk shit.
You do that a lot.
Is it literally just like, let's go for a drive and you just drive
Yeah, just
in?
put on tunes and talk shit.
Because he's called me twice and like prompted me to say something stupid and been like, George is here.
To be fair, you don't need prompting.
Shut up.
Anyway, we're driving around late at night, and we like to look at real estate as well.
Yes, that's a fun.
People.
That's a fun thing.
You moguls.
Yeah. Then we drive down this street, and then there's just this dog walking along. Oh no, it was right near the the highway actually. And we're like, that's close to the highway, and he doesn't have a collar. What's going on there? So we follow it down this road, and it sort of is like checking over his shoulder, like, the fuck these guys doing? We follow it, like, where's he going? Is he going home? What's going on? I don't know. It was sort of white and brown, patchy, and
Like a medium, big sized dog.
it was a medium dog. It was taller than Shug.
Okay.
So we're walking along, and then this giant black dog comes out of somewhere, and that's walking with it. Also no collar, but it's huge. It's like the size of a large dog
Yeah, like a big fucking
or a
dog.
very, very, very small horse.
Okay.
So this is like, you're talking like Great Dane proportions.
A little bit smaller than a Great Dane,
Like a
but
okay Dane.
thicker. Like thicker. It wasn't lanky
That's
like
a
a Great
decent
Dane.
Dane.
That's a decent
Like a
Dane.
big boxer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Like Mike
What
Tyson.
about like a German Vizsla?
Yeah?
Dunker.
Look, we can all say words.
Yeah. And so we're
right.
following, like, where are these dogs coming from? What's going on? And they're just walking down the street. And then the big black one's like, oh, we're like, all right,
To
okay,
you-
calm down. At the car, yeah.
It wasn't a fan of you guys.
No, because we sort of slowed down and just like in the
Right.
car. And it was late at night. We would have just looked ominous, you know?
To the big black dog.
So the dog's barked. I'm like, what should we do? I don't know. It's got no collars or anything. We can't check. And I don't want to get out of the car because they one of the smaller one, the first one, looked kind of hungry. Like its ribs were showing and stuff. Like, how are these? It's in a residential neighborhood though, so they can't have been out and about that long. So did they have a house and they're just not getting fed? What the fuck is going on? So I called the council after hours number. I'm like, hey, I know it's late, but I thought I'd let you know because if some kids are walking to school or something, there's a big fucking dog here. There's two of them, and the after hours council chick was like, yeah, look, I can put in a job, but we don't really have anyone on now. I was like, okay. So I guess, you know, I figured that would be the case, but I figured I'd call and get it logged or something so someone can come out in the morning if they're still kicking around because it doesn't look like they've got anywhere to go. Yeah, okay.
Fucking asshole.
You could call RSPCA. Okay. Would that be something that you would be interested in doing? Because I've called you now, and you're the council.
Yeah, I've
so
called the
if we're
council.
both calling RSPCA or I'm calling RSPCA, what's the point of you taking the job for someone in the morning? If I've also called the RSPCA and they come out and sort it, like, yeah, I mean, you could call them though, you know, because we don't have anyone on. It's like, yeah, but you're putting a job through, aren't you? And George is like hitting me in the arm. Like, don't stop. I'm like,
No, fuck that.
what? What am I
a
supposed to do?
fucking lazy
You must just
son
have
of a
you,
bitch.
you gotta have a life of getting hit in the arm at this point.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'll try RSPCA then. She's like, okay, cool, thank you. I was like, yeah, thank you for fucking doing your job for you. Then she hangs up, and then George was like, it looks really hungry. We should feed him. Like, with
Yeah.
what? She's like, there's 7-Eleven up there. So we went, got one of these little Don's ham things. Those little tear open packets of sliced ham. And then we drove back down there, and George was like, did you guys ever have the Santa that came around on the fire engine when you were kids?
Yep.
It was like that, but she was just throwing wet ham out onto the pavement. She just go, here you go, and it was like wary of her. So she's trying to throw ham out towards it, just went onto the pavement. And it kept landing on the road. She's like, I can't, it won't frisbee out onto the lawn. She's like, there you go. Are you hungry? Come and eat the ham.
Oh,
But
that's so
don't go on the
thin.
road though.
would've
But
been
there's
like,
ham.
This,
Yeah,
this dog's
that's frisbee.
anxious because it's getting ham fucking piffed at it.
Oh God, we're under fire.
So she was
Every time. And I was like, give it here, give me a go. And like, straight out onto the road again. It just kept slapping into the gutter and onto the pavement, making the most ridiculous.
Why didn't you bunch it up and try to throw it as a ball of ham?
Because then you only get one shot.
Because it's
No,
one.
like one sheet.
because
per
it just
bowl.
it's ham. It just unfolds.
I've never thrown ham.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was good
man.
Can you imagine coming across that in the morning, just seeing all these ham discs all over the road?
Were you near a security camera and can we get the footage?
That's
can we get
Good. Because we drove past a bunch of houses. I'm like, surely some of these people are a bit sus at this car slowly going down the road. We probably went up and down the road like 6 times.
Someone-
No one came out or anything.
Someone's trying to sleep and they just keep hearing. fuck is that?
What's going on?
Someone throwing ham again.
Smooth transition.
I say that's the very first video podcast, but the thing that I should point out is the one we did before that, episode 170, I think it was also recorded with video. And then there was one ages, like 6 months before that we recorded with video. Those two were both tests to make sure everything runs smoothly, and then we go into it because it's not one of those things you want to fuck up. So 171, it was officially the first video podcast, the one that's available, the only one you can really see. Yeah, it was a good one. I remember being like, okay, I'm happy with this being the start. I want to show you guys another. This is a great segue sort of clip because we were thinking the Patreon support has been amazing. The Patreon support really does help us keep making content. So if you do enjoy the podcast, consider going to patreon.com/the GMat podcast and pledging us any kind of amount. You do get access to the post show, which is just an extra bit of the podcast that we tack onto the end. It's all video. It's all up there. That's the place you can see it, and you can watch it in that browser source thing. So we're going to start pushing that a bit more in 2022. Try to remind people on every podcast, please go support us on Patreon. And obviously, when Aiden and I start a new series, there's some stuff. I've got plans for stuff to go up on the Patreon, and like behind the scenes stuff. Aiden and I will probably do a reaction, watch the first episode together. I'll have edited it, but Aiden will see it for the first time, and I'll watch it together, and we'll talk about it. That'll go up on the Patreon. So in the spirit of that, I want to show you guys this clip. By far, my favorite ad read we ever did, which was, even though some people disagree, totally unplanned. I wrote a script, a dumb script that was meant to be a dumb script. The guys were meant to read it and go, oh, this fucking sucks. And then halfway through the script, it says, hey guys, why don't we, something like, let's try the world's most sour lolly. And then I go, wait, I do have the world's most sour lolly. And then I would give the guys the sour lollies, and they would eat them and keep trying to read. And it was so far beyond my expectations and how well it went down. Just take a look. This is the clip of that ad read that we did.
Smooth
You guys want to do an ad read?
Yeah.
Now, don't look at it.
No,
just
I
yet.
want to do some live.
Don't look at it just yet. Don't flip the pages.
Is there anything on the back of it?
I don't believe so.
Okay. This is what I see before me. Untitled screenplay
No.
by Your Name Here.
My name here. Yeah.
I think Matt has prepared these.
Now, there's been Ben had this ad read that he's been working on, but you've been a little nervous to bring it to the table.
There's more preparation. That
I
needs to be done
finally got
if someone
some
else wants to read
guidance, and I'm going to do my homework, and we'll see the ad read next week.
Yeah. So I thought.
So nervous now. It's going to be like a real performance. All right, I'm into it.
I thought in the meantime I would have a crack at writing one. Now, by no stretch of the imagination, am I a great writer?
Yes, you are.
You know what I mean?
Did you know what I found the other day? I found our fucking third-year performance script in a coat of mine.
Which one?
Why don't waves
No.
keep going? I found it.
Let's
were talking
that
about
can be
it.
a live read.
Again,
We'll do
again.
that one next.
Yeah, I mean that one I wrote in 10 minutes.
It's
so
good.
It's like I wrote this song in 5 minutes.
It was a load of wank, but it was really effective.
Yeah.
It was a real good load of wank.
But keep in mind, we wrote it with the perspective of this is going to be a load of wank because we wanted
Wankers
to
are
get
gonna
we wanted
watch
the
this.
points. We
No,
wanted
you
to,
did exactly what you set out to do.
and we won.
I'm not bitter.
I was angling it at the person who was marking
Are they
it. and I was-
double-sided? No.
No.
Did I ever see that one?
We wouldn't have invited you
Wouldn't have made
Oh,
sure
wow,
you came.
okay. Ouch.
I think you did come.
because you would have been like, "That's wanky." I'm like, "I know. I had to write it so that I got the marks
yes,
I
we
wanted."
started with our underpants. Relax.
Oh, yeah. I remember this one.
Yeah, you remember the
Glad
show where everybody was in their underwear?
Is Glad Wrap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So
Brought to you by Klingfilm.
now I need everybody to fully commit to the words that are on this page. I
Okay.
need you to put your guts in it. Really encompass Aiden, encompass Ben.
Am I playing Aiden as Aiden?
You're playing like a heightened version of Aiden.
That's Aiden.
It's an ad read.
Who am I
You know,
playing?
All right.
You're playing a heightened version of Ben.
Heightened version of Ben.
Is everybody ready?
Stretch bit.
Hide in what way quickly?
Yeah.
What?
You're the director and the writer.
Because I feel like a heightened version of me is just going to be Aiden.
Yeah, well, do Aiden then.
That's right.
Yeah,
Now I'm
yeah.
going to be higher than me.
That's a good idea. Play Aiden.
Oh, that seems
Aiden,
not a bad-
You play James Corden.
Fuck off. James Corden's not just me, but bigger. That's horrendously offensive.
Well, I mean, he's
I'm going to do Graham Norton.
I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying here's a place to go.
Okay, I'll go where
I think you just go where it feels
I feel like
comfortable.
you've written it well enough that I'll see it.
Exam's a great writer, you know.
Okay.
Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Page 1, let's go.
Oh, are you doing stage directions?
Oh, okay. Oh, I should have given Beck one. It doesn't matter. It's Interior Podcast Studio.
What a fun podcast we're having so far. Right, guys?
You betcha 80, my friend.
I concur passionately.
I was thinking to myself today that if I was a viewer of this podcast, I'd love to support it somehow.
That's so funny. I was thinking the same thing.
I was thinking also the same things that both of you guys were also thinking, but better than you because you guys are both silly fuckheads.
Ben.
Just kidding, fellas. So what are we going to do about this dang-fangled supporting debacle?
Well, we could tell the audience about the Patreon.
That's a good idea, but we don't want to leave a sour taste in the viewers' mouths now, do we, boys?
Ben is right. If only we could tell them about it with the sour taste in our mouths.
I don't get it.
Well, that way the sour that way the sour taste we leave in their mouths would seem minuscule by comparison.
Now that's thinking with your fisting brain.
If only we had the world's most sour lollies. That way we could definitely do a great Patreon plug.
Oh well, I guess we'll just...
Wait, guys. Guess what?
What?
I do have the world's most sour lollies.
Yay!
Why don't
you
we?
really don't?
Why don't we all
No.
take one?
Oh,
Here you
no.
go, Ben.
The boys take their lollies and unwrap them.
All right, I'm unwrapping my lolly.
All right. Oh God, how do you unwrap this?
You just take it.
Oh Jesus, I'm gonna.
Here,
fling it
I'll go first and get it started. That tastes kind of sour, but mainly delicious.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, viewers. Take a look at my smile. Do you know why I'm smiling? Well, it's because I've never felt better. This is incredibly sour. Oh! God. Doing the podcast each week is a true joy.
Caution, consuming more than one within a brief time may cause irritation to mouth. Sensitive individuals should not consume this product.
Jeez, I've never felt better. Doing the podcast each week is a true joy. Like a sweet candy. The sweet, sweet candy.
Ben, it's your line.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
Bottom of page 2, Ben.
Oh my God.
That's right, 80, my boy.
Ben eats his lolly.
But you can't enjoy the great content like this without supporting the creators who make it happen. Running a video podcast costs time and resources that are in limited supply, especially in this climate.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Ben.
Just don't try and inhale your spit.
We try our best each and every week to provide you guys, the audience, with the best content we can. But we don't want to stop here. We want to keep growing and I swallowed it.
Oh yeah, right.
We want to keep keep growing, expanding, and getting better, and that takes support.
The best way to support us is to head over to patreon.com/the GMat podcast. Pick your amount and support us with a monthly contribution. Get access to a private Discord as well, and the podcast post show, a shorter episode recorded directly after the regular podcast where we discuss everything that we didn't have time to discuss.
That's patreon.com/the GMat podcast. Let's turn the GMat podcast into an AMAT podcast.
Great work, guys. Now all that's left to do is to finish these delicious lollies.
Yay!
The end. Oh, it tastes so bad.
That was exceptional.
Smooth transition.
I probably, you know what, these are top moments of 2021, but a couple of these will be 2022. Just the first month of 2022. But I think it was at the start of 2022 or the end of 21 that I realized that I was starting to get emails of rankings. First of all, that we were a 5-star podcast on iTunes. Yay. When I went to iTunes and I saw that people have been reviewing the podcast, thank you. Thank you so much. That does help. And then I would get notifications to tell us where we ranked, if our ranks moved, stuff like that. And it was sort of like weirdly shocking to us to realize that we were the 76th highest rated comedy podcast in Sri Lanka. Now, Sri Lanka is not a small country. So that, like, it's number 76. It's still pretty fucking good. Still pretty fucking good. In the top 100 podcasts of anywhere in the world, I nearly shit my dick. It was so fucking good. Speaking of shitting my dick, and being the top 100 podcasts in Sri Lanka, we sometimes question ourselves. I would say it's mainly Ben. Like, we get to the end of the podcast and we go, that was good. And Ben goes, lots of shit material. Like, lots of talking about our assholes, or talking about getting fisted, or talking about shit, talking about piss, whatever. I think out of everybody in the podcast, Ben is the one that keeps us grounded and goes, can we talk about something other than diarrhea this week? Which is always funny when I can be like, hey, we're the diarrhea podcast number 76. But in the spirit of that, and the spirit of how the fuck did we get there, and how the fuck are we considered comedy, take a look at some of our most immature moments of 2021.
Smooth
You
transition.
kept getting stiffies as a child.
Yeah, I was telling Mum, I was like, I used to get stiffies. He's like, yeah, we knew. I was like, what? You knew?
Oh
Like,
my God.
He's like, yeah, you used to get boners all the fucking
But
time.
like, how old were you?
I don't know, like 4, 5, 6, like around that age.
Oh, come on.
Just walking
That's
around with a
fine.
Woody all the time. Yeah.
What's your go-to word for it, by the way?
Boner.
Boner.
Yeah.
In a sexual context?
No, I don't say take my boner.
No, but I did ask that. But it's like,
But the fact that it's hard doesn't change the name of it in a sexual context. It's just, I'd be like, my cock.
your cock. You're
Yeah.
saying your cock.
But if I was like,
I understand.
if I suddenly got a boner in the kitchen, I mean, Beck Green, I wouldn't be like, oh, Beck, look at my cock. I'd be like, look at my stiffy. Like it in a
So you're saying
in a
stiffy.
funny context and a sexual context, two different things.
Well, that's why I asked two different questions.
You would hope so.
No, but I would say boner. Look how big my boner
Oh
is.
my God. Look. Oh my God, I've got a boner.
Look at this stupid boner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine says throb on. Throb on. Which is upsetting. It's upsetting.
Oh, you've
fuck.
got a throb on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a pommy thing.
Yeah. We were sitting playing Cricket 21 on the PlayStation 5.
And he got a throb
He got
on.
a fucking. He got a
Fuck, Ricky Ponting's going for it.
I just sat there and he was like, Aiden. I was like, yes. He's like, you will not believe, and trust me, it's got nothing to do with you. I've got a throb on. I was fucking choked on the throb on, obviously.
Yeah. No,
pretty funny.
I used to like poke things with it and everything. Like I
I was
didn't.
like the term chub.
Chub is a good one,
A chub,
but like a half chub.
you're cracking a chub, half
yeah.
chub,
You chubbed?
bit of a fucking half chub. Okay, cracking a chub. But if someone says, "Show us you get a chub," show us your chub. That's
Show us your chub.
Show us your chub, man.
in a figurative
Now,
world.
Matt's Walkie's got a chub again. Put some pants on him. Just walk
Like
around
stiffy
like a,
sounds
So
like
your dad came up with that.
Yeah, because I was walking around like a T all the time,
like a T.
like a lowercase T. It was just with this missing one of its arms. I had a boner all the
See where you
time.
get your
I
sense of
was
humor from.
walking around like a lost case.
And
So
I
enough
just
of this
like
juvenile shit. Come on.
no. I
Hey,
didn't,
Ricky Ponting 2021 cricket, what you were talking about.
Ricky Ponting. No, it's Ricky Ponting's cricket 2005, but it's Ash's cricket 2021.
I remember I didn't know what to do with it. I used to like poke it at things and like if there's not a piece of furniture in my house that didn't get fucked. You know what I mean? I'm just. But,
We've had such different lives.
what, you never fucked a credenza? or
Smooth
anything?
transition.
What is your least favourite word? Mine's moist. That's easy.
Oh yeah, it's a hard word. Probably clack. It hits the ears weird. I don't like it. I was gonna say clump, but it's something about the like I just don't like that.
I don't like clag.
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 Yeah.
It's just a about clot. It's a bit too glottal for me.
Clock?
Glottal. I think glottal is my least favourite word.
Glottal's also a terrible word.
terrible.
Gluh. Anything that's cluh.
Or spunk also is pretty bad. Like some of that.
Spunk.
I fucking got my spunk all over it. You know.
I also hate in context pussy.
Yeah. Or when
Like
people
fuck yeah, you like my pussy? Like that's very upsetting.
or they like fuck my cunt. Like that really.
That's super
I don't
upsetting.
like it.
It's super
I don't
upsetting.
like it.
Yeah, you
So
like my-
please stop it.
you like my cunt?
Do you like?
When I'm cooking dinner,
Do you like the look of my cunt? I'm gonna clump all over you.
Yeah, it's all claggy.
oh god,
Smell my claggy cunt, you pussy bitch. What's your least favorite word?
Clag.
Clag.
Or
Ben?
glottal.
Glottal or cump.
Probably all the words we just heard.
Yeah. Ben, is yours
I had
glop?
one, and all that just knocked it out of my brain.
Oh, we shouldn't riff until Ben's. Okay, sorry, Ben. We'll stop
Otherwise,
riffing.
because I got a 4-second memory. Oh, seldom.
Seldom.
Oh, why is that?
I hate seldom because people are like, well, it seldom happens, but it's an adverb, so it should be seldomly, but it isn't. So it just never sounds. Right.
Seldomly hurts me more than seldom.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's not the word,
That's
but
true.
it's an adverb, so it should have "ly" on the end.
A far more intellectual answer than than our.
Yeah.
Fuck my cunt.
Yeah, Ben hates it for
Seldom.
grammatical reasons.
But I like it. Your reasons are there. Our
And
reasons are
once
here.
you've pointed it out, it bothers me plenty. So
Seldomly.
It's seldom. I do hate that. Thanks, Ben.
Because, like, well, yeah, I seldom see them. It's not quite. You've missed the sentence. It's not.
Smooth
Do you
transition.
want to tell them the voice messages we've been sending each other for the last 2 days?
Oh no.
What are they?
We worked out this thing. I can't remember how it happened, but we just got on Discord to play something for a minute.
I wish you hadn't.
we
We have a shared talent that we didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that we can both like make fart noises while also talking at the same
All
time.
right, give it to me.
like a
So-
groaning.
So it sounds like I'll go first and
Yeah.
and you. It's like Ben, I really gotta. I gotta shit. Come. Oh God. Oh God. Oh my. Oh, it's loud. It's loud. Oh Ben, help me.
And I don't know. It's so fucking juvenile, and it never gets less funny.
In my last couple of days.
You
So there's a
look
good-
so fucked when you did it.
It's
You
true.
covered your mouth when you did it, and for a second,
You
I
went so
genuinely couldn't understand how you were doing it.
If Discord is recording all of our conversations, somewhere there's 5 minutes of me and Matt going, Matt, oh God.
You fucking lunatic.
So long. And we're just laughing, going back and forth, not talking about anything, just doing that.
Oh, I couldn't breathe.
Smooth transition.
It's coming.
When you said I can talk and fart at the same time, do you realize that what you're doing is saying,
Listen closely. Listen closely. Listen closely.
That's not it.
it's exactly what just happened.
Oh no.
But you
Same
can
time.
barely hear the fart.
Fuck me.
Ben,
What is this, American Idol?
Very good.
you're not going to Sydney, mate.
Oh no, it's coming out of me.
That was better.
Thank you.
Well, much better.
They're not all winners. Sometimes you get
That one was brilliant. That one was brilliant.
Number 76 in Sri Lanka. Yeah.
Oh no, it's coming out of me. Then the fart was.
Oh no.
Nah, you fucked it.
See, because you're
End
doing
of the
these
last
ones
one.
over this one, over the fucking.
Help me.
Smooth
So
transition.
this being my full-time job, I do spend a lot more time analyzing and looking and doing much stuff. And one of the weirdest things about content creation, I think, is the fact that you never really know why the fuck anything's happening, why the fuck the numbers are this, what's going on. I've seen us plateau. I've seen us go up. I've seen episodes just suddenly just blow up, and I'm like, why? Not only in the podcast, but on my YouTube channel as well. It's a hard thing to track. It's a hard thing to keep track of and understand. And I don't think that was any more clear than last week. The last episode of the podcast is probably like one of the best performing podcasts we've ever done. And there's no reason why. I have no idea where the numbers came from or anything like that. And then alternatively, a few weeks ago, I think it was 175. I should double check that and make sure. 177 is what it was. Now, I know that the majority of our views come from regular listeners, people who are waiting for the podcast to come out each week. I don't think a massive portion of our viewers is from people looking at the title and going, that sounds cool, I'll click it. So I don't fully blame the title for the reason, but for whatever reason, this podcast just got like no views. And it's the same on the audio form, no listens. It's almost to the point where I think there was some sort of glitch in the system. And it's just one of those things like content creation. I have no idea why this particular podcast just bombed. The one before it was fine, the one after it was fine. I couldn't tell you why. And I always thought that was interesting. And because of that, it's just occurred to me, what if it was just a shit podcast? So I'm going to show some clips from that particular podcast. And we could all decide in the comments whether it was dog shit or not. Take a look.
Smooth transition.
Okay. I could use motivation. I hate jogging.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
Would you prefer to run or to jog?
Oh, whatever. People
What's the
call
difference?
jogging running these days.
Yeah,
If
what's
I'm
the
going for a run.
difference?
They're only jogging.
I think
Right.
running and jogging, like if you're sprinting, it's like, stop it. We get it.
Who's sprinting? And I've never seen anyone just sprint.
But like that's
Robbers.
what I count as a run. Oh, you turn jogs like just a little. Yeah. I'm blending running and jogging too much in my brain.
Which one? Is a jog, is the size of the stride the difference between a run and a jog? Because I've seen people do those weird, like, small, I'm running and I'm running long distance.
I think if your arms are here, it's a jog. If your arms are here, it's a run. If your arms are here, it's a sprint.
I think sprint, jog, embarrassing.
Yeah, I agree. This is odd.
It's all odd. Stop running, everybody.
True.
I hate running. I hate it.
It's the
What's
worst.
this runner's high that people say that happens?
I think
It's
after the run.
horrendous. Is it true?
Yeah, but I think it's after.
we always
Unless,
start it
I don't know,
and go,
if you're
fuck
doing like
this.
long distances, marathons or something, maybe you could get endorphins while you're running, but
So, but like, don't you get the endorphins after any workout anyway?
I think it's the same thing. We just can't call it anything because runners have claimed it. The bastards.
Classic.
Running fucks.
Fucking idiots.
Stop
The
running.
ones that get up and run before work, that's absurd.
Ugh.
Who are you?
Fuck
Who
you.
are these people?
I did
What
that for
time
a
are you
while.
going to bed?
I couldn't, it was always not good
What do you mean?
doing it.
Running? Oh, you did that? Is that what you
Before
said?
work, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And I didn't last long.
No.
Like, this blows. Every day it blows, and I didn't start to enjoy it anymore.
And were you losing a bunch of weight or staying very, very fit? More than usual?
I don't know. It's not like I wasn't.
Was it
I
so
mean, I would
brief that
get
you
better.
couldn't-
My times would get quicker because I would
Yeah.
just do I would just blast out for 6 minutes and then try and get back
So how long was the
before
run?
so it was 12 minutes, and you do 6 as far as you can, and then try and get back before 12.
Oh, that's
So
clever.
you got to keep your pace up, and
Oh,
it's only
that's
12
cool.
minutes in the morning. It was still shit.
Yeah, that is still shit.
fucking blows.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people that
Still
go to
running.
my sister's work, she says a lot of them just arrive having run to work
Yuck! No.
with a backpack
Don't
on.
get a shower or anything.
But that's it. So now, like the CEO runs to work and then he's just a sweaty mess for the rest of the
That
day.
whole office fucking smells like feet.
That would just be gross. And everyone rocks up in Lycra and then you have to change. And when you get out of a pool and you've dried, but you're still a bit damp and you put some clothes on, you just feel like,
You need a long shower after something like that, after a lot of cardio, because you're very sweaty. And if you just cool yourself down and
it's
get
not
out,
the
you
same
start
thing.
sweating straight away.
That's right.
gross.
It's a lot.
People to cycle to work
Yeah.
They're
Grow
coming
up.
with their little fucking bike and their Lycra on.
Grow up.
I did that once.
I got to put my cleats on. Wait, Bill, I've got to put my cleats
Yeah,
on.
clip-clopping into the
fuck
fucking
off.
office.
Jesus Christ.
did that
with your
once
cleats.
when I was a lollipop man, rode my bike to work, and then made Beck, who was just my friend, come and pick me up and get my bike.
Still
That's
is.
right.
Smooth
She's not like
transition.
an unfit person.
I reckon I could struggle through 5 kilometers.
But she's like, but the other day she said,
I mean, yeah.
And kill a bear.
she's doing it with a friend of hers. Her
Oh, I saw a fucking video of a lion the other day. I couldn't kill a lion even with a gun. That thing was huge.
You seen a video of a bear?
Yes, but the lion. Sorry to derail your auntie, but I saw a video of a
derail
man,
herself, don't worry.
a man trying to make coffee in South Africa, and there was a lioness.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. How crazy is that?
Holy fuck! He's in like a fucking it was the shittest little house, and it had chicken wire windows, and he wanted to get to the kettle. Right, and the kettle's in the corner of the house, and there's a lioness lying underneath that window. Right. And the male lion, because the pride was there and the pride had moved on, but she decided to stay, so he stayed with her to protect her. And the male lion, anytime he moved, was like, it was fucking terrifying. And when I
Looking through
saw
the
it,
window,
he was like, I just want coffee, mate. I just want coffee. And every time he moved, it was like, "Ugh." And then the lion moved away for a second. He went to get the coffee, and the lion noticed him and ran back. Did you watch the whole video?
I only saw a short version.
Oh
of it where
my
it's him
god!
going
The
like-
lion ran back and was fucking growling and bark. What do they do? They don't bark.
Yeah, they woof.
He was
Howls.
woofing. He was woofing, big time
Roar.
woofing. Roar, that's the word. And it was fucking terrifying. So even if I had a tank, I'm still certain that the kid.
Have you seen that video of
that?
that tiger? They're way worse than lions, I reckon.
I never
way
said I
harder.
could kill a tiger.
There's a one with the
Tigers are bigger than lions.
It was implicit. There's a.
It wasn't.
And also, there's a video I saw of a
Don't put
guy.
words in my mouth. I can't kill tigers.
There's a guy riding on an elephant through like a like a rice field or something. So it's like
Right.
tall grass. And this tiger just comes from like 20 feet away, jumps up above the height of the elephant and like swipes at the dude on the...
Does the dude get
Elefante.
hit and die?
Yeah, but there's like photos after of like, look how fucked my leg is. So I think they were
He's,
like,
like,
mush,
alive.
mush. And the elephant was like, fuck. And they got out of there.
You don't have to tell me twice. Here we go.
Yeah, nature's fucked.
Shit.
How many are there? How many are there? And elephants are notoriously scared of
So
everything.
scary. I don't like lions. I saw a video of a guy who's like in Dubai. He's like in one of those rich towers somewhere, and he's just got a pet lion. And a friend of his is like reaching over, and the lion's going "Rrr," like he's protecting the owner, and he's going "Rrr," and then he swipes at him with just that fucking paw that's like
huge,
this
the
big.
biggest fucking
just
paw
knocks
ever.
the drink all over the guy, and he's like, good boy, and like pats him. And I was like, Jesus, you should not be fucking around with that sort of shit.
No way.
I saw a thing the other day. It was like a close up of a lion's tongue. And it's like it's got these little spikes and shit on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so they can hold on to like meat and stuff.
Yeah, it's like if you licked your hand twice or 3 times or something, there'd be no meat left on your hand.
Well,
What? They're really spiky.
It's
yeah.
like a cat's tongue expanded.
But
That's
way
why
biglier.
a cat's tongue is like sandpaper because they
Yeah.
got those little spikes.
You're telling me if a lion licks my hand twice, I don't have any flesh?
twice or 3 times. It's a very small number.
Look up, lady. Immediately.
Do you
I'm not
Google
looking that
how
up.
many times a lion lick hand, no flesh?
What do you
Punch that up
mean?
real quick.
Like
That's it.
skeleton, like cartoonly skeleton?
I think so. Like,
That's fucking disgusting. Do you
transition.
slow down for an L-plater? Is that helpful, or should they learn the ways of the road? People aren't nice. Is this creating a false sense of the road?
people abstract.
Listen,
Removing
listen.
himself from the equation.
There's so much going through my head right now just from that sentence. Because you
People
have
aren't
to,
nice.
you have to, in that circumstance, assume that the person you're asking this question of is an asshole on the road. Because I don't need to slow down because I'm not up the L plater's ass.
No. It's not about getting up the L. Well, it could be.
Are you saying I should
I was
try
driving
and be
down,
mean to them?
No.
To give them a warning?
I was driving. Where was I driving? On some highway.
Oi.
And- thank you. Life is a highway. I'm going to ride it all night long. I was driving on a highway.
Was that Mark Twain?
No. It
you
was
had your
Aiden.
sushi. You're driving up the escalator.
Yes.
Some fucking
Right.
L plater just
No, so
parked
the
in middle.
L plater pulled into the lane from the left lane to the middle lane where I was, and it was 80, and they were very clearly not going 80. Right. So my decision process in that moment was: do I slow right down?
Smash right into the back of him.
No. Do I slow right down and just like, yeah, I get it. You're an L plater. You're not entirely sure what's going on. No big deal. Or do I very quickly merge and zoom past at 80 where I was going? So if you're going 80 kilometers an hour and someone comes in front of you at 60 or even 50, and they're far enough in front that you could brake and go 50 behind them, or will you merge and just keep going? So in their mind, they've gone like, oh my God, I'm on a big road, and they indicate, no, and then you just hear a car go, boom.
I don't think they would consider that rude. I think they'd probably
No.
be relieved that you were out of the way.
guess
I
So-
would do that. I would merge.
So that was my thought process. Do you merge, or do you give the L plater a false sense of security on the road, or do you say welcome to the fucking big leagues, bitch?
There's circumstances. That one, get out of the way. But
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm out on the road, just in the residentials, I'll give them a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
If they take a second to go when the green light, or if they're driving a
if
manual.
there's a car that doesn't have a P plate or an L plate, and they're going like 20 kilometers an
Oh,
hour
no
on
mercy.
the fucking side roads or anywhere, I'm like red-faced.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you doing? Get out of the way, you dumb cunt! Indicate and fucking like meh.
Well,
on
I
the way
wouldn't
past.
toot them.
I would.
I would just
100%.
I would just do what I do without.
You remember when we were in that car park?
just minus a toot from every.
You remember
experience.
they were in that car? You were in that car park with me, and there was a car pulling out, and I was in the passenger seat, and we were just quietly chatting. And there's a car taking its time to fucking forever, and then Matt just went, "Get out of the fucking way!" and then just
Yeah.
sat there. Imagine if that was an L plater. You don't scream because the road is a lovely, happy place, but you're giving them the wrong sense of the road.
Yeah, Matt, you can't talk. You've got awful road rage.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it to an L plater.
Well, this is the point. That's
Also,
exactly
maybe
my point.
I would like. I would do the things that keep me safe. Like in that instance,
yeah,
merging,
obviously, yes.
you're putting yourself in danger by staying behind them at slow. But like, yeah,
The question is then, is it not nice to treat them like an L plater?
I think you should treat them
Treat
like
them
an
like an
L-plater.
L-plater.
Yeah.
No, that's where
They've
I
got it on
landed.
their car for a reason.
That's where I landed.
And you got to be
Just curious.
careful around them because they're new. You want to also just be like, are they going to make a mistake?
I like the
Day
L-platers that
to
are like right up on their hours. They're done. They're almost getting the thing. They're fucking
They
whizzing
sit
down
like
the
this with their
road.
mum in the second seat and she's on her phone. I'm like, these guys get it. They know what's up.
Finally.
Yeah.
Wow, you're up to 140 hours. Let's go, baby.
Yep. And then you see the ones that are like 140 hours but are still shit. I'm like, you forged those hours. didn't you?
Yeah, 100%. You drove twice to
You little
Coles.
shit.
You fucking liar.
You little lying cunt.
I drove every morning and every afternoon to work. No, to school.
Yeah, same.
It was a 15-minute trip. So half an hour a day. Not bad.
Don't want to brag, but I did it. 15
I've
minutes,
driven-
15
I've
minutes. You know what
driven-
that has
I've
been?
driven,
Maths, do you know? 30 minutes.
That's 30 minutes. Because the driveway's so long at his manor.
Ah, yes.
You're all the way to the edge of the property line, get in the chopper, off we go.
And if you clip a servant, it's 10 points.
You can add those, you know?
We had a different Vic Roads book.
What?
Oh, yeah. Minutes driven, servants hit.
And it was like leather printed. Leather bound.
Monogram.
Yeah.
Leather
good
bound.
times. Yeah, take that fucking L-platers.
No. We're respectful.
Hayden hates you, get off the road.
No,
That's
I
the
don't.
messaging.
That's the point I was trying to make.
That you hate them,
The
they should get
question
off the
that I
road.
was asking is it fair that I treat them like an L-plater?
Yeah.
But it depends how you treat other people. How is the difference?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're driving like a moron on the road, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's so lovely. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you stupid fucking idiot? What are you doing? What the fuck? But if you're an L-plater, I'll be like, oh, I understand.
I like to sort of cauterize it all for him. So if there's an L-plater driving slowly, I'll overtake.
Yeah,
It's fine because it doesn't make a difference to them. Whether it's probably better when there's not someone behind them.
sure.
Drive past, I'll throw my beer bottle at their wing mirror, and I'll just yell, nothing specific because you don't want to give them some I just as I go past, and then everything else after that is nice because it's never going to be that bad again.
Yeah.
I know I've said this on the podcast
I like
before, but there's that story of the time me and Ben were moving and we were in the van together and someone was in the way and he leant over to me who's driving and used my horn to toot them.
I don't like that.
Which is a no-no move. And then it was an L-plater and he wound down his window. I was like, sorry! A whole
All is right in the universe.
So you were right. You weren't even lying. That's exactly what you do to L-platers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
a whole experience I did not enjoy. How people lean over
Yeah.
to touch my,
Recently, I've been doing what I'm now calling the coward's toot. Because I don't love a toot.
So when you get scared and fart.
No, I'm calling it
Thank
the coward's
you.
toot because I like to toot just as if the person's being like an idiot and they're turning.
You don't want to get
I'll
stuck with
toot,
it.
I'll toot
yeah.
as I'm passing, like fucking idiot, meh, and keep going. Or like today, to get here, I have to go through a school zone, which is 40 kilometers an hour. And this guy went past me at easily 60, maybe even more. And I'm at 40, and he was behind me, and then I could see him, and I was like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot. And he overtakes me. And as he overtakes me, I just held my horn.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking moron, because because it was 3:30, so kids were leaving the school, and it's just like, why are you driving so quickly? So that was good, because there's no chance he'll ever stop or really even hear it, but for my own sake, I tooted.
Yeah.
So that's what I call the coward's toot.
I like the cowards too.
It's better. It's
I've used
cathartic.
it. I've used it.
It's cathartic. It's cathartic, isn't it?
Nah, well, I don't know. I like the toot as a conversation starter. So if I do a coward's toot, there's no way to have a
It really
a
checks
talk.
out with your personality.
Does it?
Yeah.
Because my toot is like we're going to have a conversation right now.
Oh, you like a long toot? My dad does that as well.
It depends what it is. Like if it's just they've merged and not seen me, to be like a boop.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, sorry. And like, we all do things like that.
Yeah.
But if it's like they're clearly being a dick,
Yep.
like if they're driving just blasting past everyone who's in traffic in the emergency lane or something like
Yeah,
that,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
it'll be a slow pull out and cover 2 lanes.
Yeah.
So they can't get past. And then they'll be like, and then I'll just sit on the horn for a minute. And then I'll wind down my window slowly. I'll merge across so they can get past. And then as they go past, I'll be like, fucking it's not your special lane cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
They
Like-
need to make cars with 2 different horns, the polite one and the fuck you.
I
Great
was
idea.
at a T intersection with my dad, and there was a lot of traffic at this road, and there's a keep clear, and a car blocked the keep clear, so we couldn't get through. And for the entire traffic sequence, my dad held his horn.
So unnecessary.
And I was
Because
just
a
sitting
lot
there
of
like,
times you
I
get
was
caught
just
in a keep clear, like, oh, fuck, I thought they were going to keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a pretty good judge of that. I would rather hold up traffic behind me just a second to figure out if they keep clear. It's not worth of a horn going off for 45 seconds.
I guess the end is going, horns sort of run out of
they run out of gas. It was so loud and so long. And the woman was just sitting there going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure.
It's the holding, and then they probably couldn't
My
do
dad,
anything.
sunglasses on, no expression.
Were you like, you want to stop everything?
I was like, Dad, you've got to stop. And he's like, fuck her. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I just sat there. It was very awkward.
There's like an American thing that you see more than over here, where like for like town council and like local election stuff, people will drive around in a vehicle that's got a siren on top, and they're like,
Vote Ben J for town council.
I want to get one of those for my car. I think that'd be so handy to be like,
go with like, be like, yes.
exactly.
Oh, well, it's actually my right of way. Oh, whatever.
Sometimes you feel like you want to explain stuff.
White car, stay in your lane. White car, YJZ 645, stay in your lane.
You haven't
not
seen,
merge.
there is a parked car up ahead. You have not seen it. White car.
I'd be doing it anyway. Like I'd be doing it to pedestrians. Be like,
Honey, those shorts don't work on you.
Don't you dare press that traffic button. Don't you dare press. Look at the traffic behind me.
wait for some like old lady to walk past me. And she's going,
Boo! God is watching. Smooth transition.
I think that's really all. I was gonna, I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to do some notes, but I think it's better I just save them for the regular podcast and bring them up with the boys. Because there's some cool stuff that I want to talk about. I'm really bummed out we can't do a proper podcast this week. But I've talked about some stuff today, I think. Talked about mine and Aiden's journey, new shows, I guess sort of the setup for the video podcast. It's been good fun. I love doing the podcast. I do really, really love doing the podcast. I could never quite decide what's my favorite thing. Twitch, videos, podcast. I do love doing the podcast. There's going to be a hard cut there because I just completely lost my train of thought. Point is, I can't wait for the podcast again next week because I love doing the podcast with my pals and my beautiful girlfriend. So I guess the best way to finish it is to play some of my favorite moments. These have nothing to do with, any theme, any particular episode. These are just some moments I remember having a really good time, really enjoying. And I'm just gonna let them run, and that'll be how the podcast ends. So you won't see me again, but you will see the three of us probably cacking up about something. I love you guys. I will see you next week for episode 183, which should hopefully be 183, the three of us talking in a room. Shut up, phone. All right, take care. Goodbye.
Smooth transition.
So I went to Shep to visit my family.
Right.
And I went to the golf club because that's where they like to hang out. Rob was playing, playing some holes, and me and Mum went down to meet
Golf,
him
you
after.
mean?
Yeah. Went down to meet him after he finished with some friends. And so I sat outside, and all the regulars are outside on a bunch of different tables. Just see this outside area.
The regular holes.
What?
You said what?
When I'm on a flow, don't stop me because I'm
That was a flow?
I'm way too tired to.
Can we all hold hands and kumbaya ourselves back into one cohesive podcast?
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. That's plenty.
So
No one knows how that song goes.
No. That's it. It's like kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. That's all I know. Oh, my lord, kumbaya. I noticed that everyone was passing around papers.
Yep.
And then I realized they were printing off A4 memes to come and give to each other at the golf club because apparently they don't know how to message them. You know, it was also funny when I said it to my parents. They're like, "We're not like them. We email it." And I was like, "Oh yeah,
You email them?
You're on it. You're on it."
Dear Rob, hope you're having a great day. Couple of memes for you here, mate. Scroll down for humour.
See attachments.
Please see attached for a laugh.
This old guy on a scooter.
Email them is so fucking great.
It's probably a forward as well.
There's
old-
like
Sorry, Rob.
17 forwards
Just
attached.
per my earlier email, forgot to attach the documents. See this one for the actual laughs.
This old guy on a scooter went past, and the guy who was sitting next to me, Gav, went like, "Oh, baby," and then like put his finger up, shove his finger up at him, and the old man like stopped and like got up out of his chair and came over with the A4, but like wandered over, was like, oh bloody bunch, and like it was just weird old people interaction. And he was 90. He was like,
Unravel the parchment.
He's like, hey, have a look at these. Have a look at it. Passes them on. And so he left and he walked away and forgot to take him. So I like put it into my jacket because I'm like, this needs to come to the podcast without a doubt. So I thought we could take a look at retiree memes together.
I think this is a great idea.
You're like a little Nicolas Cage.
I've just seen a glimpse.
National treasure.
I've
for
just
content.
seen a glimpse.
You're always squirreling it away.
Oh my God. They're so rolled up. All right, I'll make sure to put up a picture of it on the screen because the roll up's going to be hard to look at.
You have to scan them in.
But the text of this one says, not all Collingwood supporters are assholes. And then it's a gentleman in a Collingwood get-up and he has a penis.
Hand-drawn memes.
For a penis for a head. It looks like something that would be like the Herald Sun comic section.
Not quite. Because of the cock.
Not all Collingwood supporters.
Pretty upset by that.
And the kids.
It makes no sense to anyone outside the country.
This one says,
This is my least favourite.
just one fucking thing after another. And it's a penis chasing a vagina.
Is it all genital based?
It's
I don't
gotta
understand that one.
Because it's one fucking thing chasing another. They're both.
Because they're things for fucking.
They're both
Oh,
like
because the
fucking-
one is highlighted. You read it weird.
What?
It's one. The word one is bigger. It's just
You
one
shouldn't
fucking
need
thing
that help,
after
mate.
another.
I
I mean,
mean-
it's shit and old person-y.
I'll translate.
Thank you.
Just one fucking thing chasing another.
Yeah, it's just one fucking thing chasing another.
I don't. Is that the
Because
emphasis?
the saying is like, oh, it's one thing after one fucking thing
Yeah.
after another.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they're fucking things. Genitals are things for fucking.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I
don't
get
know
it, Matt.
why
You
the
explained
one.
it to me.
Huh?
You explained the joke to me the other day.
I don't
You
know.
got it then.
What?
You explained that
No,
joke.
I
to me.
understand the
Oh,
joke. I'm
okay.
saying that the one isn't important to the
No,
joke.
I don't know
right?
why
that's
not
in
even
capitals.
Not at all.
No.
It's also not in capitals. If you-
It's just bigger.
I'm pretty sure it is, isn't it?
It's 100% bigger than the words it's just.
It's also handwritten, so who knows?
Or is the
Yeah.
whole thing in capitals?
they're all. It's not. It's not.
It's just one fucking thing after another. This is horrendous.
Is the one in capitals, Aiden?
The O is much bigger than everything else. That's
But is
what's
there a
wrong.
capital N and E?
Yeah, but it's all in capitals.
All of the writing is
Yeah,
in
but just
capitals.
the O is bigger, and from where I was sitting, it looked like it was bigger.
Yep. Okay.
Just one.
Oh, here we go. There's
This one
there's
is,
no genitals in this one.
Yeah.
What does it say?
This one says he likes you, and it's a picture of one gentleman walking a dog, and the dog's jumping up onto the other gentleman's face and fucking the man in the mouth. And he's
These
like,
are like
look-
R-rated loonies, aren't they?
he likes you.
Yeah.
It's just.
Is that Fred Bassett?
Just,
Fucking that dude's
some,
face.
It's just some. It's just some funnies for us all to start our day
Yeah.
the right way.
These cartoons explain so much about old people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
especially like
Like, this is their like, oh.
It's all puns.
No wonder they hate retail workers and things. You know what I mean?
I like that this is like they're all printed not quite. They're scanned. They have to be scanned. This one says you're a. Oh man,
No bueno.
it's pretty bad. It says you're a liar, Charlie Brown. I will not sink if you take it out. And then it's Charlie Brown in water. And yeah, I think he must be fingering her. I will not sink if you take it out.
Like the boy with the finger in the dark.
In the what?
Can't say that anymore.
It's a story. It's a boat.
No, I don't know the story. What's the story?
It's a boy. He's just on a lake, and you know, it's a Scandinavian story. And
And
he's
he
got a
takes his
hole, and he
finger
puts
out.
the hole in the boat.
Oh, okay.
Aiden's prejudice. We understand. It's fine.
So yeah, he has a finger in her and says, "If I takes it out, you'll sink." And she's like, "You're a liar, Charlie Brown."
You assume.
So that's the that's what a 90-year-old man in a scooter gave to me at a golf club in Shepparton.
I have to
Racing.
say, I'm incredibly uncomfortable after seeing those.
Yeah.
I'm super not like thrilled with it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they make my skin crawl.
Yeah, I'm really, really uncomfortable.
Good times. Good
This
times.
podcast is going well.
You don't want to take the Collingwood one home?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Good times had by all.
Up on the fridge.
Yeah, I reckon. I also sent Ben a picture of, because Rob laminates his memes and puts them up in the shed, and he's got one on the shed door that's like, it's like beer time or something like that. I sent him.
Yeah, beer time. That's nice. That's fun.
Yeah.
A dog fucking a man in the mouth is not quite.
Well, that's
as fun.
what the picture is above where it says beer time.
It's a dog fucking a man in the mouth.
Damn it! Why is it always a dog fucking a man in the mouth?
So the dog's collar says beer, so the dog's name is beer or something like that. I don't know. Matt sent me the picture. I couldn't zoom in. Ultimate Water, hyper.
What is going on today? I remember
transition.
making a teacher cry because we used to do shit like that. Like every time they turn around, everyone in the class would go like that, and they turn back around, and you just they turn around to see everyone's arms, an entire classroom of arms go.
The
Like, what's fucking going on?
Machiavellian fucking bullying that
fucked.
school kids can come up with for teachers.
It's unbelievable. And when a substitute comes in, you're like, yes,
yes.
oh yes,
We're going to make
Fuck
this
yes.
person quit.
We're gonna ruin your fucking day. Or you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna cry. Or how I reckon we can get her to cry in half an hour. I reckon we can get him to cry in an hour. Like it's just unbelievable. Yeah, children are the worst. I don't like it as much now. When I was a kid, it was like, today's gonna be a good day. We're either gonna get nothing done
You
or we're
don't
gonna
like
get
it as
a lot
much
done.
now.
As much.
Well, I don't like the idea of
You
people
still-
crying.
Just one day you're going to get out of grade 5.
What do you mean?
You get that pen license, move up to grade 6.
Smooth
We
transition.
had we had an Indian teacher. I guess it's not important that he's Indian, but he had a rainbow belt.
Was he teaching you Indian or did he happen to be
No, he was
Indian?
teaching us science. He was a substitute
Okay.
teacher.
So he was a science teacher then?
Yeah, he was an Indian man with a rainbow belt and rainbow shoes.
There's a science teacher with a rainbow belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I just think that Indian men always dress like extravagantly. They have
Maybe his family.
Which is weird because you had a
Nazis.
science teacher who was teaching you Indian. I should have.
Hindi. As a matter of fact,
Yeah, he knows. He
Not
speaks
necessarily.
that's true. What's the other language?
They have many, many.
Hindi
Punjabi
most
is a big one.
popular. Yeah, that's true.
it. So, anyways, we made fun of his belt and he cried.
Imagine that poor motherfucker got up. He's like, you know, kid, this will brighten their day. The
Feeling
belt, hey, wacky teaching. You're like, yeah, fuck it. Nice belt. Did your mum dress you in that? You fucking dipshit. Cool belt. Are you colorblind or just fucking stupid? I thought that you guys would make like this school can be hard times for you guys.
I do remember it taking nothing though. I remember it was just like, "Oi, cool
Taking
belt."
nothing.
Like,
It's his fault because it was too easy for us.
Put up a challenge, you know. Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of fortification of your emotions for it to be my fault that you cry.
Yeah.
Those are the rules.
I feel like substitutes should go through some sort of gauntlet to like prepare themselves because
The Iraq War,
far too much
Yeah.
crying.
something.
They have, yeah.
They're going to be a live fire
ex-military.
scenario before they can come
They
in.
go into a
They have to be
public
shot
school
at.
in Shepparton.
Yeah, before they're allowed to go in and teach public relief teaching.
It's not like it's Shep High. They were like throwing scissors and shit at teachers. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Still tears.
But to be fair, the teachers were wearing chainmail, so
And they have to. It's part of the requirements.
school uniform.
Yeah. Did you make any teachers cry, Aiden?
Mm-mm.
I bet not.
Never.
But it was like straight. Was discipline like at your school? Was there discipline?
Good detention.
Okay. But like,
After
did you ever
school
get
detention?
suspended or anything like that?
Just heavy
Me?
fines levied.
Yeah.
Are you nuts?
Well, I got suspended. And I wasn't even that bad of a kid. I just sort of was amongst the bad,
Yeah, but
you know?
What?
I got suspended
You
for...
just said you used to rub your hands and hope to make a teacher cry. That's
Yeah, but
a terrible.
that's an
student.
internal sort of thing. I was just like, here we go, it's happening. I wasn't the one who was like, your belt is stupid. I was just like, I'm gonna be a part. I'm gonna watch everybody do this.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a part of that.
But I got
I was the kid over on the other side doing the work. You know what I mean? And the kid
square.
teacher's crying, and I'm like,
I was multi-talented. I was able to do the work and watch a teacher cry. I mean, I got bad marks, but I still did the work. That's what's important.
I
Yep.
didn't.
Doesn't matter how low your ATAR score is. All that matters is how many teachers you make cry.
yep,
Maybe that's what dropped my score down.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. How many did you make cry, Ben? 10 or 20?
It was never a solo effort.
Exactly. That's
And
what
it was never like your belt sucks. It was just misbehaving, just being loud. You know, the classic raucousness of like, well, what are you going to do? You're not going to be here tomorrow. So there's no, it's done. Once you leave here, that's it. You have no more jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So it would just be like, they'd be like, everyone, you need to listen now. We're like, I don't think we do. Because what are you going to do? Send you the principal's, how are you going to make sure I go there? I'll just leave, then you'll leave, and I'll come back. End.
They
That's
could
the end of the
leave.
equation.
They could leave the dreaded letter on the teacher's desk, and then the
Yeah.
next day your real teacher's back and like, I got a very unhappy letter from the substitute
Yeah.
kids.
It's like, well, she's lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had. Did you
You
have?
don't trust them? I'm here every day.
I
I
saw
know
her
the situation.
drinking.
Did you have the substitute more than the regular teacher. I felt I was getting substitutes all the fucking time.
We had a teacher who just left once.
Yeah, why?
Like, it was just the end. Like, I'm not teaching anymore. So she was like I don't know whether she was, this was like grade 5, so it was primary school. It was a while ago. But she was like a long, I think the actual teacher was on maternity leave or something. It was like a really long substitute teacher. She was there for months and months. And then we knew she was eventually leaving to go and get married and go on a honeymoon and stuff. But we knew that wasn't for like 2 weeks. And then this one day, she cried, locked everyone out of the classroom, and then the next day she didn't come back.
Big
We
maneuver.
were like, did we break her brain or what? And like, no, she just had to leave to plan her wedding. To plan her wedding. She wasn't supposed to finish for another 2 weeks. She said she was going to be here till March. She's gone now. Why 2 weeks early? You don't suddenly have a bunch of stuff to do for your wedding that you didn't realize you had to do. Where'd she go? Guys, we're not going to talk about it anymore, okay? She had to go to plan her wedding. And we were like, bullshit. And so pretty sure that
This poor
made her
woman.
quit.
She got jilted.
This poor woman devotes her life to furthering the education of the young, and you fucking cunts ruin her life.
To be fair, we didn't deserve education.
You probably still don't.
That's why I don't go anymore.
100%.
I'm done.
Yep.
We had a teacher break as well. Not break. Someone else. We had a plastics teacher who wasn't there.
For those plastics.
It's like metals or
Melt
woodwork
shit.
or something. We're just working with plastic instead.
You bring in your favorite toy, you can melt into a different shape.
It's like an entry level. Like in year 7, you would do plastics because it's a bit too early to work with like, I guess, stronger
Lathes.
material.
Oh yeah, we did that. We didn't call it that though. We just called it woodwork. It was
And
all
you just
woodwork.
had plastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you make like clocks out of plastic and
I never did that.
keychains.
At robotics.
Of course you did.
Woodworks.
Well,
Woodwork,
Yeah.
robotics.
Well, we had two different
Robotics.
schools.
Rolls Royce detailing.
Yeah.
What do you do in robotics? Like actual
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, like learned how to solder. I could sit and solder I soldered a fucking thing. What do you call them?
Putting gyros into
Motherboard
drones.
I never had the
things.
class.
Yeah, no, I meant like I soldered like wires onto a motherboard and made things work and made an alarm clock and things like that. We made a robot as a class.
Like a.
A robot. It was probably like this big.
And what did it do?
Did it fight the other
it-
classes' robots?
I just tried to walk and we made it spin its arms.
It's radical.
It was cool. We had a
I made a dick out of plastic. And I called it plastic dick.
Yeah,
And I
very
etched
good.
in plastic dick onto it.
Not plastic? Surely that's...
So much fun. Yeah, I was only in year 7.
Wow.
I hadn't quite developed my.
This is why Chris Lilly steals your jokes.
This is why.
So
Yeah.
we're in plastics,
Right.
and the teacher didn't show up, and we're like, I can't say his actual name. His name is now Mr. Lightswitch. Like, where's Mr. Lightswitch? And it's like he hasn't come in. And we're like, where's Mr. Lightswitch? All day it was this shit. And then the teacher eventually broke and went, he's not here because he ran someone over with his car. And then all of a sudden, it was like we became adults in the room, and we're like, Mr. Nearly said his name, Mr. Leaf. I don't think you should have told us that.
Yeah.
That seems like business that isn't. I don't feel like you should be sharing the business of.
Do you
another
often just give
person.
away other people's personal secrets
Yeah,
like
fucking
that?
It feels
manipulative.
inappropriate.
Little bastards.
But it wasn't even like it was. I didn't even feel like we were all turned. We're like, that
Oh my
seemed a
God.
bit like year 7's
Yeah,
being like,
You should have not said that.
I don't know. Do you think that was inappropriate? I think that might have been inappropriate.
I
Do
feel
it.
like that's
Someone
a bit
should
heavy
say
for
something.
us, yeah.
Someone should say something, because if he did hit someone with his car, he's still a good guy on the inside. Maybe it was an accident. I think someone should say something. Brandon, you say something. Oh fuck, miss! You shouldn't have said that. Like that sort of business,
Right.
But it was. Apart from Brandon, we were all pretty concerned. He did, by the way. He hit 5 people.
That's too many.
By accident.
Yeah, he was turning a corner, and there was like the sun was hitting the windshield out, and this is out in the middle of nowhere. And
Smooth transition.
yeah, and then he
Maybe take that out. I don't know.
Nah.
and then he ran over
Depends.
and
Did they die?
he ran over and killed.
Okay. Take it out.
Yeah, take the windshield thing out.
He ran over and killed 5 backpackers,
Oh wow.
which is a big number. And he had like a big van, and it was
good ratio.
yeah. And he didn't go to jail, and now he lives in Chile. So no, he lives in Mexico, growing
you
chilies.
Told us that.
There you go.
I know this story.
Yeah, because it's such a big part, like a
it's huge.
strong memory.
I can't imagine there's many Mr. Light Switches in Mexico, so you may have ruined his
Smooth
life.
You watch
transition.
Doc Antle?
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
man.
Doc Antle.
I was OG on that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me to watch it.
What's Doc Antle?
Have you not
So-
seen any of them, Aiden?
No, I've been trying.
refuses.
I've been trying so hard, but it's taken a lot.
Oh, Tiger King.
Now
Doc
listen,
Antle.
listen,
Okay,
listen.
No.
The crazy thing about Tiger King
Yeah.
is that every time you watch someone, you go, this is the worst person. And then they introduce someone and they're
even
worse than worse. Yeah. And now in the second season, there's this guy from the first season who wasn't in the second season. And I was like, why didn't they talk about him? I felt like he had a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's because they had to make a whole different series just dedicated to him. And it's fucking crazy.
His name's Doc Antle.
Yeah, he's not a real doctor. He's also a pedophile. And he's just, allegedly, going through his life. Just living through his life.
Riding an elephant around his park.
It's the
Imagine
craziest
if you
shit.
had been up to all that grubby shit, and they're like, "We're going to do a documentary." Wouldn't you be a little like, "I might sit this one out"?
Yeah.
He's done like 2 or 3 now, where he's like, "Yeah, I'm the best. Come see my place."
It's because he's a dipshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They all are just
Sociopath.
sociopathic. They
Yeah.
don't think they can get caught. It is
is
crazy.
the-
The first guy, you're like, oh my God, Joe Exotic is the craziest person I've ever seen. He's got like a half a leg that works and he's shooting guns all the time. You're like, you're fucking go make Mount Camp. You're like, there's no one crazier than him. And then you go Carol Baskin and you go, oh my God, she's killed everyone who's ever loved her. Probably. And she's like, I don't know that. She's got that weird side. Hey, cats and kittens. I can prove my husband's not dead because of these diaries that I just wrote about that time. Here's a page. It's got 2021 scribbled out and it says 1996. But anyway, definitely didn't kill Dad or whatever his name was. Got a lot of money though, conveniently. And now all the tigers are safe, so no one should ever bother me again. And you go, she's definitely the craziest. And then it goes to the next guy, Doc Antle. You're like, yeah, he molested everyone who's ever come into his field of vision. And you're like, how much worse can they get? I don't know what the next one's going to be. It should be like, also, Hitler had a bunch of tigers. Here's a whole thing on him. It's like, yes, we look after the cats. The cats are great. We take very good care of them. What do we feed them? Don't worry about that.
But there's also
I don't need to watch it anymore.
there's also the in the second season, the guy who was going to court, what was his name?
Tim.
He's my favorite.
He's the best.
He's like, I'm going to win this
bananas.
shit. I'm going to win it. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to tell him how it is. And he walks in the court. He's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm going to shoot all you motherfuckers.
And to the judge as well. The judge is like, bro, you need to stop.
Everyone in the room is like, you need it, or and he's like, I don't give a fuck.
No offense, Your Honor, but go fuck yourself. I'm going to fucking shoot you. I'm like, well, we're taking all your tigers. And you go, fucking try it. And they go over there like, we're taking tigers. Like, oh, whatever.
And then you see him in the prison scrubs and he's like, it's possible I made some mistakes.
They should just do a hard cut from the start of episode 1 to the end of
Yeah.
him being like, oh, they ain't gonna do shit, and then he'd be like, they did some shit.
He's in prison.
Yeah,
Yeah, brilliant.
He's getting taken away. Sorry to spoil it, but it's well worth
Watch
a
it.
watch. It's fucking crazy. It's every single episode. I'm like, I can't get any weirder or wilder.
Isn't it crazy in the first season where you're like, all right, I think I'm up to speed on the tempo of how this show works now, what's going on. And then just like someone accidentally kills themselves completely unrelated to anything. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, and then he died. They're like, yeah, man, that was a sad day. That was a fucking sad day. I had to shoot 3 music videos just to get over that. Here they are. And then it's someone overdubbing him because he's like, my name's Joe. Here's my music video. I was like, Ma.
How is anybody supposed to
Clearly not
believe
him.
that?
Yeah, I know.
Is
He
it
doesn't even
really-
look like
does
he can
He does
mime that.
everything.
No.
He does everything, and his music videos are not him singing, and he claims it is.
Is it true?
Close to
And then
Really?
he does them live, but he's singing over the top of the recorded version. And his voice, they don't
That's
match
right.
at all.
It's just him singing over the recorded, and it's it's his actual voice and the voice that he says is him, and
watched-
they don't sound the same.
That's fucked.
Uh,
Okay.
I would like to I just like if you watched it and then you came back and then just told us how you felt about it. We're like, yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's bananas.
As content for the podcast, I
Please.
will watch
Thank
Tiger
I reckon if you watched them, if you just binge them all in a row, you would have to watch some Lathe video just to cleanse your palate.
Also, it is pretty short. Like in terms of like a series documentary, like
The first one's kind of long. It's like a proper series. It's like 9 or 10 episodes.
I don't think it was that many. I thought it was like 7.
That's the
6
reason
or
I
7.
didn't watch it, because I watched one and I was like, that's so much.
It is overwhelming. You do
The
need
thing
a
is, it never gets less either.
That's
Like
the-
you
well-
think you're like, all right, I know who they are, I know what their deal is, and then it starts up again. It's like, yeah, so we ran this guy over with a 4-wheeler bike. Like, what? Why? you were doing fine. Why'd you do this shit?
I also sit there like these poor fucking tigers.
Yeah,
On
yeah,
both sides of the camp, Carol Baskin wants to sleep with you, and these guys are like,
yeah.
oh boy.
It's a lot.
What I said before, I said in his defense, but I didn't get to finish my sentence, so I don't want that soundbite floating there. When you said, like Doc Antle, they're sociopaths and they just think they can get away with it. I said, in his defense, He clearly can, is what I was going to say.
Because he has got over that.
For years and years and years, and he's still not in
But
jail.
in the current culture that we have,
Oh, he's going down.
like, wouldn't you think, like, yeah, we're going to do a
gone
big
down.
documentary, and we're in the world now of, like, that gets attention, then it becomes a thing that blah, 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 da, 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 Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby. Like, why would you think, like, no, those guys they're idiots. I'm the smart one.
Yeah.
I can get away with doing all this fucking gross shit.
It's just
fine.
like the Jinx. It's the same thing. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, come in, have an interview.
Yeah.
Killed them all. Hey, it's GMat here, and don't forget, if you enjoyed that episode of the GMat podcast and you want to hear more, we also have the podcast post show over at patreon.com/the GMat podcast. The post show is a shorter episode recorded directly after the main podcast where we wrap things up and talk about anything we didn't have time to talk about. $3 a month and cancel anytime. We are a community-supported podcast, so your support over there funds the show and makes it easier for us to keep doing what we love. If you want to support us, head over to patreon.com/the GMat podcast.